Hi, you have 30 questions today. Try to catch the twist before it catches you. Let's go. What natural process causes lightning to produce the sound of thunder? Correct answer. Rapid heating and expansion. Why do ice cubes float on top of liquid water? Correct answer. Water expands and becomes. What gives green apples and sour candies their distinct sharp tartness? Correct answer. Malic acid. What primary pigment determines the color of human skin, hair, and eyes? Correct answer. Melanin. What technology allows contactless credit card payments to work over extremely short distances? Correct answer. Near-field communication. Why is standard road asphalt typically painted with light-colored gravel or sealants in hot desert regions? Correct answer. To reduce road surface. Why do sea otters hold hands with each other while sleeping in water? Correct answer. To keep from drifting apart. Why was the word sandwich originally created in 18th century England? Correct answer. Named after an aristocrat. Why do ocean tides occur roughly twice a day rather than just once? Correct answer. Moon gravity pulls. Why does pure honey almost never spoil even when stored for thousands of years? Correct answer. Low moisture content. What causes the temporary sensation known as brain freeze when consuming ice-cold food rapidly? Correct answer. Sudden constriction and Why were early computer screens made with dark backgrounds and green or amber text? Correct answer. Early monochrome monitor. Why do thermos flasks have a double-walled vacuum space between the inner and outer containers? Correct answer. Vacuum prevents heat. Why do pine cones close up tightly during damp or rainy weather? Correct answer. To protect their seeds from. Why are commercial freezer display doors in grocery markets lined with thin heated wires? Correct answer. To prevent condensation. Why were buttons on men and women clothing historically placed on opposite sides? Correct answer. Wealthy women were dressed. Why does sound travel significantly farther over cold water on a quiet night than over warm land? Correct answer. Cold air near the water. Why do dogs kick their hind legs backward after defecating or urinating? Correct answer. To spread scent from scent. Why is the ocean salty while most lakes and rivers contain fresh water? Correct answer. Rivers wash mineral salt. Why do apples float in water while grapes sink to the bottom? Correct answer. Apples consist of 20. What was the main reason early digital displays and graphics used square pixels? Correct answer. Standard memory chips. And why do spicy foods containing capsaicin cause a sensation of physical heat and sweating? Correct answer. Capsaicin binds to. Why does Teflon prevent almost all substances from sticking to its surface? Correct answer. Fluorine atoms surround. Why are modern airplane cabin windows rounded at the corners instead of square? Correct answer. Square corners concentrate. Why does a flame burn in a spherical shape inside a microgravity environment like a space station? Correct answer. Without gravity, warm air. Why do some species of acacia trees produce sweet nectar on their leaves even when not flowering? Correct answer. To attract aggressive ants. Why does superglue harden almost instantly when applied to surfaces but remain liquid inside the bottle? Correct answer. Traces of moisture on surface. Why do humans experience motion sickness when traveling inside a moving vehicle without looking outside? Correct answer. The inner ear senses motion. Why is the center of Earth liquid outer core crucial for human survival on the surface? Correct answer. Its rotation generates. Why does liquid water contract in volume as it warms from 0 degrees Celsius up to 4 degrees Celsius? Correct answer. Hydrogen bonds collapse. Thanks for playing. Write in the comments how many points you scored.